Hello, everyone. Welcome to Storytime with Coach. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. I just wanted to share a quick story today of something that happened. Today's story is just an observation that I had while I was out riding my bike, working out this afternoon, and I thought I'd share it with you. So, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a pretty avid bike rider. I typically get out and ride between 20 and 25 miles a day when the weather's good. Even when it's not good, I still try to get out and get 10 miles a day. But I was out riding on one of the local roads, and on my way out, I was maybe 2 or 3 miles into my ride, and I passed a young girl, maybe 10 years old, on the side of the road with a lemonade stand. Now, this wasn't a regular lemonade stand. This one actually had some thought behind it, and a table and signs, and it was really nicely done. And she had brownies too. So as I'm riding by, and the the lemonade stand is on the opposite side of the road, and I'm climbing a hill, and I called out to her and her father that was sitting next to her, and said, "I'll be back." Because I figured, well, on my way home, this is only a couple of miles away from home. I'll get some lemonade, and that'll be great, and I'll encourage this young lady. I kept going on my ride, had a good ride, a good workout, and today was just kind of put the miles on. It ended up being 17 miles, but that's really not the focus of the story. But on the way back, I stopped, and they were just packing up their chairs to get ready to break down the stand. As I rolled up, I said, "I told you I'd be back." And I chatted with her and okay, tell me about the lemonade. And, oh, I see you've got brownies too. Okay, how much for lemonade? How much for brownies? And kind of put her on the spot because I said, okay, I'll take two brownies and I'll take some lemonade. How much will that be? Well, I've already figured it out. It's going to be $4 because the lemonade's a dollar and the brownies were $1.50 each. But she struggled through the math, and I told her because I had kind of forced her into doing a math problem in public that I would give her an extra dollar, so I would just call it $5. I could have left it at that and just, done my transaction. That was already an encouragement to her because she was going to make money, and called it a day. But I decided not to. And part of the reason for that is at my age now, I've been around for a long time. I've got a lot of experience in the world and seen a lot of things, both good and bad. And I wanted to be really an encouragement to this young lady. So as we're talking, as she's making the lemonade, I said, "Hey, look, I think it's awesome you're out here doing this, but I want to tell you a couple of things from my experience that you should know. And, one of them is that anything that is worth doing there's going to be a cost associated with it. So, you can go play with your friends, or you can have a lemonade stand, or, you can sleep in extra, or you can go out and do something. So anything that you're going to do in life, whatever you want to accomplish, there's going to be some effort involved, and it's going to take work, but the work is going to pay off at the end. You need to trust in that because there's going to be so many reasons and so many people that are going to tell you, hey, take a break. Why are you working so hard? The second thing I told her was that you're never going to run out of people in your life that are going to tell you that you're working too hard or are going to try to slow you down or discourage you. Now, those people aren't necessarily bad people. You, by being somebody who's energetic and working hard, you may just be intimidating the heck out of them because you're working hard and they're not. And that makes them feel bad about themselves. It has nothing really to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And that you're making them look bad in their mind. So they'll try to discourage you. Hey, you're working so hard. Why don't you take a break? Or, hey, you're doing this or you're doing that. Come play with us or come do these things with us. So you're never going to run out of people in your life that are always going to be there to discourage you. And again, this is from my own experience, and this has happened, dozens and dozens of times in my life, maybe even, if I thought about it, maybe even hundreds. But I didn't go that far into it. I just told her, look, people are always going to tell you that, you're working too hard if you're working harder than they are. And she piped right up and said, "Yeah, all of my friends said that I should come out and play with them, but I have goals and I know what I want to do in life, and I I want to, I want to do something, and I want to be doing this." Now, mind you, this girl is 8, maybe 10 years old. And her dad piped up and he's like, "Yeah, this is the third year we've done this, and she's very dedicated to it. She has goals." And so I asked her goals. She wanted to be She wanted to be a scientist, and she wanted to develop a type of paper, that wasn't damaged by water, that was water resistant, and it held its shape, it held its strength, it held what was written on it. But she had this, and she explained it to me, and I didn't fully understand what she was trying to do. But she had a vision of something that she wanted to do in the world, and she wanted to be a scientist to accomplish that. Well, that's cool. The last thing I shared with her and her father was from my own life. I said, look, there are three different things in my life that I've been the very best of everyone around me, like the very best in the country at what I do. And I've been recognized for that. In each of those cases, in each of those areas that I was that good at, it took years and years and years of work. And there were plenty of people along the way who were completely discouraging to keep me from staying on the focus that I was to be where I wanted to be. And so I shared from my own experience. I'm like, young lady, this is going to happen to you. If you really want to be the best, if you really want to accomplish something, people are going to get in your way. Don't listen to them. Keep going. During all this, she's sharing from her experience of, and basically just parroting back to me that, yeah, I have friends that discourage me. And yeah, there are other people that tell me, you could be doing this other thing or doing this or that, but I know what I want to do. And again, keep in mind, this girl is only maybe 8 or 10 years old. It was so encouraging to see somebody that focused. But also, her dad thanked me for encouraging her and just taking the time to talk to her and say, hey, look, I think what you're doing is great. So the point of the story here, going for a bike ride today, that's really all I had in mind is, going out, doing my workout, coming back home. But I had an opportunity to encourage a young lady who was doing the entrepreneurial thing and encourage her dad and impart a little bit of knowledge and wisdom from my life. Not that I have gobs and gobs of it, but I've been around for a little bit, and these things are kind of important to know. And I wished I'd known a lot of them when I was younger, but I got to encourage them. But at the same time, I got to be totally encouraged by seeing this young lady and her dad out there doing this thing together. So my encouragement to you in hearing this story is be an encouragement to others, because you have no idea how much they're going to encourage you back. You're getting a little bit out of it by talking to them. They may get a lot out of it, but you may end up getting just as much or more than they did. But I certainly did on the bike ride. Although I will admit to you, I did. I had the lemonade right there on the spot, and about a mile and a half or 2 miles down the road after I'd gotten done talking to him and I was back riding, I'm like, ugh, I forgot the brownies. I left the brownies back there. So the next time I see the stand, I'm going to have to get my brownies. Or she just made an insane amount of profit by my being distracted. So I hope you enjoyed the story today. Not an earth-shattering thing, but be an encouragement to others. And you never know if you're going to get total encouragement by being willing to talk to somebody else. Have a great day, and I'll look forward to talking to you again. Bye.